Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Send your request into designs@patioheat.com for your personalized recommendations. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so we have this covered patio with a screened-in deck area. And let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. Overall dimensions I have are at 38 feet 4 inches from this point here to this point here. And then I have 16 feet depth from the wall to the outer edge here. I have a ceiling height of from the finished floor at 9'3" to this edge here. You can see that we have a 1 foot beam going across here. And I'm not quite sure how the actual screen in section is going to look, but there is a door on this side here. I talked to this particular client and mentioned that the door will need to swing out in order to meet clearances better. We have a couple of fans. The fans are in the center of these sections from here to this midpoint here, and then from here to here. That's all centered within that span. There's a door over here, swinging door over here, or sliding door over here. Sorry, this is a window, and then a couple of windows over here. So everything else looks pretty good. We have 5-foot diameter fans in the center. Not sure if I pointed out the 5-foot diameter side here. And there is a flat ceiling. So, all right, I'm going to turn off the dimensions and also turn off the screen area just so it's easier to maneuver through this design. But just know that the screens are there, and also that they did mention that there's a higher wind that comes through from this direction over here through the patio area over here. Having a screen really does reduce the amount of air movement. So that's just something to consider. If this was open, then you'd possibly want a little bit more heat. So we'll just keep that in mind there. So let's go ahead and look at the first option that I would probably prefer. So this would be my preference, going with flush mount units. Now, I already talked to this particular client, like I said, and having flush mounts is not something that they're looking for. But if you were looking for a flush mount system on a application similar to this, the main thing is making sure that you are meeting the 18 inches of clearance from the edge of the heater itself to the edge of any combustible fan blade. But let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat for this. So footprint of heat is going to look pretty good. Now I would like to see the heaters a little bit closer to each other, just so that you have a little bit more overlapping here in the center of the two seating areas. So we have this over here and this over here. But in any case, that's not going to be the case for this particular client. But let me go ahead and put the take this off just so you can see kind of that footprint of heat. So all right, whoops, sorry about that. And let's go ahead and turn that off and look at a couple of other options. One option would be to go with the SlimLine units. The SlimLine units are 4,000 watts a piece. I have 4 of them. They are looking at placing the heaters on the perimeter. And so let's go ahead and look at what I have here is the 4,000 watt centered within the total length from here to here. And then also on all units, I made sure that I am meeting that 6 inches of clearance from here to this edge. And then also using the OEM bracket mounted on the ceiling. Now I mounted on the ceiling because of the fact that when you use the OEM brackets, and if you placed it on a vertical surface, then the maximum tilt from straight out down would be 45 degrees. I have this at 30 degrees from straight down up. So that's why I'm mounting it on the ceiling, just so you can get that 30-degree mount as opposed to only a 45-degree mount. And what that does is it allows that ray to come down closer to this edge over here. Now, if this seating area is not going to be occupied, around this edge here, another 15 degrees up would maybe be okay. I just don't like that. But in any case, I have this at 30 degrees on all 4 units pointed in towards the center. And then just to look at the distances I have here. So from this point here to the center of the heater itself, and you can't see that, but to the center of the heater here, I have 10-foot center to center, and that gives good overlapping here in the middle, as well as overlapping here on this outer edge here. Now, if you were sitting, let's just say right over here or over here, and didn't have the 2 overlapping rays, then you probably wouldn't like the 4,000 watt unit. Just because it's not really designed for, it's designed for an 8-foot throw. So from center here all the way down 8 foot, and you're at that maximum 8 foot over here. This is just at that 8 foot, but you know, the lower section, you know, your legs and stuff like that will probably be a little cooler with a 4,000 watt unit like this. So don't mind this dimension here. I'll show you that in just a minute here. But yeah, so 10-foot center to center, 30 degrees, all pointed towards the center, and that would give you a pretty good footprint of heat. I'm going to turn off the top again and just look at how that footprint is not heating up this space over here, but it is doing a pretty good job throughout this whole span here. So let's go ahead and switch that now to a 6,000 watt unit mounted at the same area. Now in a 6,000 watt unit, I have these mounted on the ceiling at 30 degrees. When you go beyond 30 degrees on a ceiling mount, then you have to drop the heaters down an additional 6 more inches. So from the OEM bracket here, this is going to give you a 6-inch drop, and then you would have to get the extended bracket or drop it down with, you know, chain, something of that nature. It'll be a little hard to get that 30-degree tilt on a chain, but I would go with the extended brackets if I was going to go 45 degrees on a 6,000 watt ceiling mounted unit. Any case, going back over here, what I wanted to show you is the clearance area below the heater. And if I was going to look at, I'm going to go ahead and turn off these rays for a second. If I was going to put the screen back on, what I've done here is made sure that my distance is correct with that 18-inch clearance all the way down here to that screen, which I have here at 1 foot 5¼ inch away from the screen itself. And over here, I'm just going to show you this area here. I have 18 inches from this edge here to this edge here. Let's go ahead and take that true measurement here real quick, and let me turn that on. And this is going to be slightly different than that 18, because the 18 is going to go out to this edge over here, but we're really talking about this point here. So that point there is 1 foot 4¾ and let me just pop that back on there, and I'm going to go back to turning that off here. So that'll give you the actually, let me redo that because I don't want to confuse the length here. What I wanted to do is go ahead and put the center of the bracket on here. So the center of the bracket itself, which is a 6-inch length bracket, that distance is 1 foot 7 inches from the center of the bracket to the edge of the wall. All right, and the same is true with this over here. It's the center of the bracket to the screen in area, which is 1 foot 5¼ And the reason it's closer is because we're not, impacting the post here like we are over there. So I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and turn that ray back on and look at the footprint of heat. Now this is a much better output of heat for this type of environment and layout itself. So I would go with the 6,000 watt units. Now these 6,000 watt units are dual elements, so you have 2 elements inside the heater itself. You could use a duplex switch or you can use a control panel. I would definitely do one or the other. That way you can turn, let's just say you want to turn these 2 units on, but this one here you want to put on 50%. The duplex switch would allow you to do that and leave these 2 off, or you could put all 4 on and manipulate either 50 to 100% on in each unit. The controller allows you to do 1% to 100%, and that gives you a lot of flexibility depending on what the outside temperatures are like during the time you are using your patio. So let's see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. Yeah, and the only other thing is if you were to use a gas heater and this was not a flush or flat ceiling, it was a raised ceiling, then you could go with gas heaters. And hold on one second. But what I wanted to say, if you were using a gas heater, then let's go back over here, put the lid back on, and you would have to have a vent up in the attic space here, and this is say that there was no ceiling here at all, and then you could use gas heaters in this area, but you would want to mounted about the same elevation as the flush mounts that I mentioned, which is the ceiling height here that I showed earlier. Which, let's go ahead and just turn that back on again. That's 9'3", so you can go all the way up to 10 foot on that, but you do need to make sure you meet your clearances to combustibles. And just note that if you had an open ceiling like this, that ventilation is required, otherwise you're going to superheat all this area here. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up, and if you were looking at putting gas heaters in here, then that would be one thing you want to consider. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful. Other viewers find our channel just because you have tapped that like button. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.